Good, I'm a badger.
Yo, what up? It's your boy, Honey Badger. It's him, bringing you another build video with the best intros in North America, Europe, Korea, anywhere really, if you think about it. Anyways, it's time for a build. We're going to be taking a look at Evelynn today. She has just received a small buff. That's not just the only reason why I'm making a build for her, but she did, and that's helpful, and we all like that for champions that don't see a lot of play. She's not terrible. She's pretty fun. Her first early jungle clear, I think, is complete crap, but don't do what I did at the beginning of this game. Do not take the refillable whatever Majigger. Don't do it. Just get pots. They're better. Trust me. Yeah, you can clear better. You get 3 of them, not 2 charges. Trust me. That was the mistake this game. Don't know why I did it. Kind of kept it going, then I ended up actually finishing it out. But ignore that part of the build, okay? Don't do it. I'm telling you right now, don't do it. I also had my Runes Mastery set up a little bit wrong. But here are the correct ones. They're on the screen now. Pause the video if you need to. And write them down, or even better yet, open your league client and put them in so you know where they're at, and then the next time you go in to play a game and you're like, oh my god, I want to play Eve. Oh, hey, look, I already have the stuff set up the way I want it. Crazy, right? Absolutely crazy. So that is what we're doing today, and that is what we're going to be taking a look at. Now, what's happening here is a tower dive by them. It's not going to end too well for them, but that's great because it ends well for us. That's what we like. Eve is a squishy champion, and the way we're going to be building her in this video is pretty much full AP, which will allow her to not only destroy enemies in team fights, it will also allow her to be destroyed in team fights. You got to be a little bit careful about that. We will die a lot this game, but in return, we will kill everyone too. So it's worth it. Trust me. What we're going to do, obviously, is go over her abilities in just a second. You already saw Runes and Masteries, and we're going to talk about her more as a champion. It's fun. Let's start off, though, with her abilities so we know what's up. First things first, that's her passive. Got to talk about that. Shadow Walk. You go into stealth when you're not in combat. Champions within 700 range or True Sight. While stealth, Evelynn regenerates 2% of your maximum health every 2 seconds? Not every 2 seconds. 2% of her mana every second. But then people see you when you're within the 700 range. I said that weird. I know. Get over it. Anyways, casting spells. Taking damage or dealing damage reveals Evelynn for a duration of time. This cooldown is reduced every 5 levels. So it takes 6 seconds to get back into your stealth originally, but later on the game only takes 3 seconds. So that's some fun stuff for you to know about. At rank 1, what we do is you put a point into your hate spike because things are just so much better when you hate things, right? Isn't that how that works? Welcome to the league community. Nailed it. Hate spike. Really, really short cooldown. Costs just a little bit of mana. Does a little bit of damage as well. We spam this like crazy when we're fighting and when we're killing things in the jungle. You're damn near just pressing it all the time because you can only press it when you're by an enemy anyways. It doesn't go off if you don't. It is grayed out, as you can see, when we're not by anything. So we are going to max this out first. Scales with AP and AD, and it's kind of our main damage source, you could say. It's basically our main spam damage source. It works very well with the items we will be building as this game goes on. So yeah. That's your hate spike. At rank 2, we put a point into Ravage, which is her E ability. We're going to max this out second. What this does is you're going to hit an enemy 2 times, dealing physical damage, scales from AP and bonus attack damage. It also applies on hit effects, but not spell effects. So remember that. It also passively, or not passively, but it then lets you gain a percentage of attack speed over the next 3 seconds. This is really helpful for clearing out jungle camps. It also scales outrageously a lot, so late on, once you have 5 points into it, you get 120% attack speed for 3 seconds. It's awesome for soloing out people and fighting them. So one nice thing I like to do with Evelynn, because she can be somewhat bursty, especially when you build her full AP, go find the solo person and just come out of nowhere since you're invisible and jump on their face and go pow, and you basically will kill them. Make sure you do the sound effect because it goes a long way. It actually helps. So pow, that's what you want to do. Remember it one more time. Pow, okay? That's what you do. Then at rank 3, we put a point into Dark Frenzy. Passively, Evelynn's spells hit on enemy champions reduce the cooldown of Dark Frenzy by 1 second, so that's a good thing. That's passively, once again. Actively, Evelynn removes all slows affecting her, ignores unit collision, and gains movement speed over the next 3 seconds. Champion kills and assists refresh Dark Frenzy's cooldown, which is also a nice thing. It's really great for getting around quicker. It's really nice for getting the slow off of you and being able to run at units if they try to slow you or if you're trying to get away. And then you also get the unit collision ignoring, which is very, very helpful. It's also very cheap. Its cooldown's a little bit longer, though, at 15 seconds, so don't just spam it too soon in case you get slowed early, unless you just need it to close the gap right away. Then that's something to be careful about. And then finally, we have our ultimate, which is Agony's Embrace, which sounds like a really weird sex position. Evelynn impales all of the enemies in target location, dealing a percentage of their current health in a magic damage and slowing their movement speed for 2 seconds. Evelynn siphons their pain, yeah, good wording, gaining health shield for each enemy champion hit, which lasts up to 6 seconds. So, you can be squishy and build her full AP to deal maximum damage. There's 2 caveats to her ultimate. 1, don't use it when they're about to die. You're not going to last hit them. It does current health damage. So if they don't have very much current health and it does a percentage of a small amount of health, it's going to do like 20 damage and it's not going to kill them. I use it late one time in this game, but it's mostly just to slow them since it does that, so I could finish off the kill. But for the most part, you want to lead with it because then they are slowed and you will get way more damage effect out of it. So don't use it when they're low. It's not a last hitting ultimate. You need to use it early on in a fight. Also, since you are squishy and building full AP, don't be afraid to use it on them at the start of a fight. Run in and just nuke them with it. Go for it. You just gotta go, which I'm not doing right now, but you just gotta go for it. Also, it's not up. But you're going to be getting that shielding, which can last up to 6 seconds. So that's what's helpful. Utilize it. Hit lots of teammates. Kill them. Explode their faces. See you later, Twitch. Get wrecked. Have fun. See you in hell. So yeah, that's Agony's Embrace. One thing you will see, and I'm just going to mention it now so you can passively watch it as this game goes on. Look at where I am for positioning before team fights or when team fights want to happen. Typically, you're off to the side. Hopefully somewhere where there's no pink wards spotting you out. Green wards won't see you when you're invisible. But you want to sneak in from the side and around enemies. It usually traps them and forces them into the rest of your team. Or you're just going to catch them in a bad spot and they're not going to be able to really get to where they want to be. Now, one thing you do need to be careful with, especially when you're squishy, is if you do go in from that side or from behind, make sure your team is also following up too with the whole killing. Because if you don't, then you're going to get caught out and die. They'll just turn around and kill you first. So make sure your team's also closing the gap and destroying someone. Okay? That's what we do. Let's talk about the items a little bit since we're a little ways into this game, this very long, bloody game. First things first, we went with Runic Echos on Stalkers for our jungling item. Very good. It does very good damage with Evelynn too, especially... just a lot of damage, really. That's all you need. So pick that up. It's a very good choice. I went with the pen boots. We're not going to really build any more penetration, so getting the pen boots are good. If you didn't want to pick those up, you could go Boots of Mobility to really get around the map quick to affect lanes. Really ganking early with Evelynn is very important. One of the reasons for this is because, well, she excels at it to a certain degree as long as your lanes aren't overly pushed. She doesn't bring tons of CC to lane really until 6, and even then she just kind of spam stuff and she's kind of squishy. So she does have to be a little bit careful, but if you get a little bit ahead with her early, she'll really actually start to snowball pretty hard. So her damage starts to ramp up really, really well. So that's one really nice pro to playing Evelynn. After we finished off our Stalker Blades and our boots, we also built the Caliber AMP Churchnergerner. I, for some reason, never remember the name of this item, but it's the one that dashes you forward and slows them and deals damage. That's what you want. It's fantastic, because then you can go from basically no range of them seeing you to zip on top of their face, which is really helpful. And or for just catching up to them, like right here, we're going to use it, boop, and it slows them, and then we can keep slowing them because our next item after that item, which also then lets our next attack deal lots of damage because that item's awesome, which, like I said, I can't remember the name of it because it's just not there right now. Just you can see the picture of it, buy it, it's great, and you know what I'm talking about. The next item, though, is Rylai's Crystal Scepter. We're going to have perma-slows with hate spikes constantly, and they're never going to be getting away, which is really, really helpful. So we want Rylai's, and we're getting a legit amount of AP and utility, and we're getting a good amount of health for somebody who really doesn't have any real defense. So the health is very helpful, and yeah, like Rumble, you're never going to get away from that. Once you get a hate spike, you die. Yeah, it's just, you're never getting away from a hate spike Rylai's Crystal Scepter. It just ain't happening. Then the next item we actually decided to build towards was a Lich Bane. Lich Bane, I actually think, is a little bit more situational. You don't need to have it, but I'm going straight out, balls to the wall, Evelynn, where you're just going to go in on whoever and smack them as hard as you can. Run up to them, bust the ult, bump that 2 button on your keyboard, because that's where I placed my activatable, whatever the name of that item is. Throw some hate spikes, drop them in the face with a classic Ravage, and then just, there you go, Lich Bane proc, and you're going to like 1 to 2 shot somebody, because it's going to hurt them. Granted, you're very squishy too, so they'll bring the hurt back, but trust me, it's going to work. You've seen it in this game. It happens occasionally. I'll just walk up to somebody and go, whoosh, and then, yeah, like I said, you got to, it's the sound effects. It all helps. Anyways, we're fast-forwarding a lot. This is a very long game. Very long game. 11 kills, 5 deaths, 8 assists. Kind of mediocre, but works for me. We're carrying Evelynn style. And as for the final item that we are building, we call it a Deathcap, and it's just going to ramp all the damage up to a different level, really. It's just good. That's what we like to do. There are obviously some options in this build you could definitely do. For example, if you didn't want to go super greed, well, I would anyways, but if you weren't going to, drop the Lich Bane and pick up like an Abyssal for the magic resist. Be great. Also would give you some good penetration because of the item. Also, a Zhonya's Hourglass, very good. Also, will give you the stasis, which can be incredibly beneficial if, let's say, they have a full AD team and a lot of burst, and you want to sneak in from behind, but they're always aware of what you're doing. That's a good way to get in and deal your damage, and then be able to Hourglass stasis yourself and be safe. You just won't be safe. Yeah. So that's what you could also do with that instead. So there are some options. They'd also give you some good cooldown reduction. Cooldown reduction, always a good thing, as we know. But luckily, Evelynn's ult recently has got a shorter cooldown now, which we always like. It's always a good thing. Yeah. Wow, we covered things fairly quick, didn't we? That's great. Let's talk more about her, though. So a lot of what you want to know about Evelynn, or what you want to try about Evelynn, is to not get caught like that and basically almost throw the game. But luckily, your team's going to clean this up. Check out this Leona action. I know it's in fast forward, but watch this. She's going to come in here. Oh, here it comes. Boom, dead. Oh, Twitch, you say? Boom, dead. That's a double kill, Leona. That's what's up. And she's going to get out. Deny the push. Also, one other thing about if you're playing against Evelynn, right here. You can't just put a ward down like that and then recall in lane. I'm gonna find you, you're gonna die. Granted, this Rumble is actually super fed, so this is gonna hurt in a second when he drops his ult, although I'd say this is a waste of an ult because he knew he was gonna die. And yeah, it did plenty of damage to me. I have absolutely no resists, but I'm fine. And I'm gonna get out, I'm gonna go home, heal up, get a death cap, and bring some rain in the next fight. And we're also gonna go probably take Baron, because maybe we won't take Baron. We'll get a catch. Yeah, we'll get a catch. Rip Teemo. Oh, no, Teemo killed him. Never mind. Anyways, yeah, so you can do that with your items, and you really just want to work on positioning as Evelynn. And like I said, Evelynn early on in the game is good and does plenty of damage, but if you don't get anything really going, you can really kind of fall behind, it feels. And I know that can happen with a lot of other champions, but I feel like she never fully recovers until you get like 3 items in if you do fall behind. So make sure you're being proactive with your ganks. Very, very important to do that. And if your lanes aren't like letting people push, like let your lanes push a little bit so you can at least sneak through like tri-brushes or like come in behind them. It's not very difficult. See here, look at the positioning. We're off to the side, sort of behind. We're going to come running in now. Boom, drop the ult, bust some damage, run out a little bit with our speed up on our W. Be careful, we're actually going to dash away while we have them all cleaned up. Now we're going back in because we're turning the tide in the fight. Going to go over, find Twitch, kick him in the face, kill him. Gonna barely live. Triple kill goes to the Jhin, and we're gonna finish off that Rumble, I believe, and that's gonna be the game, because that's gonna be the game. Luckily, I did not hit that mushroom somehow, because that would have killed me. Although I think one's gonna kill me in almost a second, but I get pro heal from Jhin, which is awesome. They didn't even use it in that fight, or somebody else if they happen to take heal. But that's basically a build for Evelynn. The biggest things to take away: be impactful of the lanes early. Make sure you build straight damage if you want, and deal tons of damage. Jump in on their faces. You will wreck everyone. Also, apart from that, just be aware of your positioning before fights start. If you just run at them head on, you might just have a bad time. So be careful about that. But other than that, she's super fun to play and impactful. Try her out. I believe in you. Have fun, and see you in the next video.